have anything.
Well, we've probably been around people their entire lives. Does anyone want to feed this one?
Nah.
People buy these little tortoises in pet stores for like whatever, $50.
Can you
and
message
they're
me
this
with
big
your
around.
video?
That's just like
Pretty, isn't it?
No, why are you gonna leave as soon as I got my camera out? He turns away from me. He just had his head on my lap.
Go ask. Pardon me?
I'm filming. You're the only one that I'm not. Oh god, they're all on me now. Ed. They're gonna fight each other. And there's one on my phone. It's gonna knock my phone out of my hand. Someone want to take my phone? I'm like. I'm assuming they have them spend a certain amount of time with them. Oh, it's so big. I love turkey. You know, turkeys have the weirdest heads. No, they're not side by side anymore. Yeah, he almost stepped on my foot just a second. Oh god. He's gonna...
Not cross, not cross.
Does he stay here? We're doing this sort of thing again. I've talked about this before, but like for student teaching, I have to plan an entire unit and like teach it, and it's kind of like the grand finale of my student teaching, and the unit I'm doing is To Kill a Mockingbird. So the high school library of the school that I teach at had 2 DVDs that were supposed to be like background knowledge for To Kill a Mockingbird, and I watched both of them to see if there were things I wanted to show in class, but one of them, one, it was so long that it would take up like an entire class period, which if it was worth it would have been one thing. But that DVD, man, it was like 2 college professors having a discussion about To Kill a Mockingbird. That was like a good discussion, but it was very like college level. You know, names of literary theories that like lit crit stuff that my like freshmen are not going to understand. Like they talked about Marxist literary theory in the video and whether or not To Kill a Mockingbird could be read as a Marxist novel. And like my students are not gonna know what Marxism is, let alone Marxism literary theory, and they don't need to know that. Like we're not gonna talk about Marxist literary theory. So not gonna use that video. And then the second video was much better and shorter, so it would like definitely fit in the class period. But I feel like that was a really good video for another class, but I don't see it going well with like our classes, largely because it was a somewhat intense video. It dealt a lot with racism, which is good because we want to deal with racism, and that's like all of To Kill a Mockingbird. But they used the N-word a lot. the book uses the N-word, we are going to discuss the N-word, but if we were to show this video, it would be like the first day, like before we started reading the novel, and I do have it planned in the unit, like discussing the fact that the N-word is used in the book and how we're gonna like handle the use of the N-word, and like, so we're not like shying away from it, but I feel like that's too early, like the introduction of the book. I don't know, like it could work. I could have planned it that way. I just didn't. And I don't want to like throw the video in there when I haven't fully planned how we're going to handle that yet. So, and then like aside from that, there was also some pictures of like lynching in the video that like did not shy away from showing lynching, which again, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that in particular. In some classes, I think it could go over really well. Some of our kids, I'm not entirely sure how well they would handle that. And for like the first unit I've ever planned, I'm like, yeah, I don't think I want to show like somewhat graphic images of lynching. So I'm not gonna show that video. But it was a really good video, and I think in other classes could be really like a good resource is the word I'm looking for. So yeah, it's okay because I have other plans for that lesson. That was just like we could possibly do this instead if they're good videos, but I'm gonna go with the other thing I've planned because their textbook has a list of Jim Crow laws in it. And I think I have an idea for like pretty good activity to do with that list of racist laws. So I think I'm going to do that instead of showing the video because I think, you know, something else about planning this unit, they're going to be doing MLA citation and works cited pages for the first time for a paper that they have to write after reading the novel, like on the novel. So figuring out the best way to teach them MLA citation is also kind of like, I don't know. Sometimes even I still get confused about MLA citation. So it's just like, what's the clearest way to explain this? How much information is too much information? And like trying to think of everything I have to tell them. Like I know that I have to tell them where to get publisher information on a book and everything like that. So yeah. It's a bit later in the day now. I've pretty much moved on to writing. So the Harry Potter fanfiction that I keep bringing up and talking about, I've been working on it. I'm actually writing like a fight scene now. Not a fight scene as in like an action scene, but an argument scene where two characters get in a like verbal fight. So that's fun. I always kind of like worry about those sorts of scenes a bit just because you don't want them to become too melodramatic, like your characters to like overreact or get too angry and whatnot. Like you don't want it to be too dramatic, but you want it to be like the right level of dramatic. So I'm working on that right now.